So welcome everybody to number 49. This is the one last before I will repeat which number we're at. Tomorrow will be 50, and then I am no longer say the numbers. I'm just going to start right away. 50 is my goal. It's been my goal from the beginning for this year, and I'm going to blast it away already in March, and that's only in a quarter. So this year is going to be absolutely fantastic. And I don't know why. Sorry, I just started just getting a little gratitude in my head for all the people that I've had on my show and just had amazing people, just like right now, just like I had this morning, just like I have right now. I mean, two-time world champion Muay Thai. I mean, for the people that know martial arts or contact sports or whatever it is, or any kind of sport, being a world champion is not something that is easily attained. I mean, it looks like it, right? Because we only see that one match, but there is such a path, a journey towards achieving that. It's just absolutely insane. So for this guy to come on, for me as a Muay Thai fanatic, a passionate Muay Thai father, I'm so glad that this guy is on. So Rich, before we jump in and get to know you better, man, I just got to know, because people forget Muay Thai is a martial art. Muay Thai is a contact sport. Muay Thai is a way of life. What is one of the biggest life lessons that you've learned from all your years of practicing Muay Thai?
Wow. For me, I think sheer stubbornness, never quitting, never giving up. Like being able to embrace the pain and the hard work, being able to ride it through to the next success. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, yeah, it's hard. Sometimes it's tough, and you can see how people may get a little bit kind of dejected or let down or a loss of motivation or something like that. But sometimes it's just as simple as just getting back on the horse, just getting back into the routine and back into the system as quick as possible. I was talking about this the other day with one of my friends that's Darren Till, that just fought on UFC London. And saying he's probably back in the gym first thing Monday morning. Just, yeah, it's another day at the office, and sometimes we have a good day, sometimes we have a bad day, and yeah, like I said on my TED talk, sometimes like in the combat world, in the sport world, the punishment can be so hard, so immediate, that you don't feel the you feel the pain of it straight away. Mm-hmm. So if you drop your guard, you get caught. If you lose concentration for that split second, you get caught. In life, there's that time lapse. And being aware of the time lapses, being mindful of your attitude and your behavior, and then recognizing the feedback, because that punishment might not be as sharp. The punishment might not be as sharp as what you're feeling in a combat sports situation. Mm-hmm. So you've always got to keep that level of mindfulness. That's probably the biggest lesson that I've found. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the thing is, if you give me space, I'll just keep on talking. So
look, Rich, you have all the space that you want. We have an hour. After that, I'm going to be very crouchy and hungry. So that's it. I'm done with you. I'm playing. And But yeah, man, that is a truly powerful lesson. And we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper, because that is, you mentioned something, and I hope people picked up on it. You said you will get down. You will have moments that you do not want to get back on that horse. However, just step back into your routine and systems.
Yeah.
And that's where the trick lies. Because actually, it's funny. I just talked about it this morning in my life myself. It's like we all get stuck, right? And then we just stop doing everything. We just go, whoop, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to watch a movie. I quit. And the reason for that is we do not have routines and systems. So that's a perfect lesson. People start with setting up the right routines and systems. Just because you will get knocked down, you will have a shitty day, and all you have to do is just step back and go into that routine, that where you don't have to think anymore, but you just do the next things that will make you guaranteed move forward. Love it. Love
Exactly. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, yes, I know I'm sat on the sofa now, but these sofas can be kind of magnetic. You get drawn in by the sofa, and it's comfortable and it's easy. But the thing is that when I was coming home from work, I had my work bag, and then I had my training bag. As soon as I got through the door after work, like a quick bite to eat, have a quick little drink, dump my work bag, pick up my training bag, and I was straight back out. And yeah, okay, it's easy to get drawn into the magnetic sofa and feeling that draw, but like I say, the system that I had in place was, I don't have time to sit on the sofa. My sitting down time was traveling to the gym, and I'd have like probably half an hour, 40 minutes sitting down in the car as I travel to the gym. So that's my active rest. That's my traveling to the gym time, the quiet space I had inside my head, and finding the kind of mental clarity. And it's only now, as I get older, that I start recognizing that I was creating these windows of quiet time, and almost like a meditation act. That I didn't even kind of recognize at the time. I'm only recognizing it now because I'm being more mindful over the systems and strategies I'm putting in place and trying to help other people with.
Exactly. Yeah, probably when you start talking about meditation to your students at the moment that are young, they're probably like, yeah, buddy.
Yeah. This is it. But I mean, the thing is that, like, just this weekend, I've been down at working with the guys at Fighter's Mind down in London. Alan Whitten and the guys down in London. Everyone always works that kind of yin energy, the yin yang sign. Everyone works that kind of masculine energy, and bringing the hard work, the grind, the alphaness, and feeling your body working. But in order to create that balance, then you need the yang energy as well. You need the balance of both sides, the male and the female, the black and the white. You need to find that balance between. So, and the fact of the matter is, all of this is created up here. All of this is created in the mind anyway. So all your motivation, all your dreams, all your desires start here. It's only your meat skeleton, your body that actualizes it. But everything is founded by the mind. So you got to have your mind in the right place.
Exactly. Great, man. I'm going to enjoy the rest of the interview. Before we start further on, man, Rich, can you introduce yourself a little bit? What's your whole background story. Tell us a little bit about your marriage, your kids, etc., so we can get a little bit more
Okay.
background on the rest of the interview.
Yeah. So my name is Rich Cadden, former 2 times world champion in Muay Thai. I own and run Chokdee Academy, the one of the best martial art gyms in the area. We do Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, freestyle wrestling, MMA, boxing, as well as all of our fitness classes and stuff like that as well. I used to be an engineer. Used to work we used to work on the railways. Degree qualified engineer, and did my degree over at Leeds Metropolitan. I've done quite a few different kind of martial arts through my time, but obviously Muay Thai is my the one where I've excelled the most so far. I've been married to Jo since 2009. Jo's my wife. We have two kids, Oscar and Lucas. Oscar's 8 and Lucas is 4. So having two boys that have literally grown up in the gym. They learned to crawl on the mats and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fantastic. They're growing up in that like kind of combat arena. But the thing is that as a dad, I'm not being too harsh. I'm not like forcing them into it. If they want to train, they want to train. If they don't, they don't. But I think the fact is now is that they're seeing the benefits of martial arts training.
Mm. That's nice. So immediately for me, there's something that pops off that I actually discussed about an hour ago in a live interview, is that parents at the moment, we're so protective of our kids, right? So a lot of parents, when they see Muay Thai and they see, because we always see the extremes, right? So we see the extremes, little kids fighting, no protection, blood, blah, 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 etc. All the, unfortunately, negative side of it. So we're trying to protect our kids, and that's why we don't let them do that, because they might get hurt. I mean, you got the gym, you're right there, you even teaching the kids. What's your view on that, and what's your message to parents that are so overprotective of their kids and not letting them experience a sport such as, for example, Muay Thai?
Well, I mean, one of the things for me is kind of letting them be exposed to risk, but then being cautious around the risk rather than their behavior, because I want to create learning opportunities for them, but not limit their experience. So through my own level of cautiousness, I mean, they'll push the boundaries, and there's been times where they'll like maybe stand on the plyometric boxes and wanting to jump off and jump onto the crash mat and stuff. I was like, it's your choice, mate. Your choice. Do it. And the thing is that I think we have to let them learn, but not to the point of negligence.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's finding that balance, and it's like a cost benefit playoff.
Mm-hmm.
So when they've got that kind of safety net, I'll take it back to this simple game that we have, like playing on the blocks and the crash mat down at the gym. I got the 60 centimeter block, and they jumped onto the crash mat, no problem. I put the 15 on top, a little bit higher. Okay, they jumped off that. Put the 30 on top, they started to get a little bit concerned, and they were like, "Dad, hold my hand while I jump off the block and jump onto the crash mat." When I put the 40 on top, they're like, "Dad, catch me." And so they're finding their own limits anyway. And I think learning to trust their own instincts is one side of things. Because I mean, if I was being a like protective parent, I'd probably stop them on the 60s. Go, oh, just be careful, you might fall off that. Well, yeah, they're gonna fall.
Mm-hmm.
But the safety was that we had the crash mat. So then it's like, well, okay, do you still have the same reaction when there's no crash mat there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the strength to be able to support that? So then we took it down to the 30. They jump off the 30 block, and they land on the harder floor, and they're like, oh wow, okay, that's different. And it's exposure to these like different challenges, different environments. So being able to carry that very simple like physical task without any competition, taking that into a combat situation, into a Muay Thai class, holding pads, there's impact, and a kid's kicking another kid through the pads, so they've got the padding as a safety, as a protection. So they get to feel the kind of the jolt, the impact of a kick.
Mm-hmm.
They feel the impact of a punch, and if that pad wasn't there, they still have that same mentality. And so they say, right, okay, what do I do now? Dad, hold my hand while this kid kicks the pad. Okay, do I feel? Does my son feel strong enough to hold a pad if this other kid's kicking? Yeah, okay, it's strong now. Okay, we're good. And that allows his confidence to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a gradual forging process, and you nurture the skill. You nurture the skill, then you forge the skill. You nurture the skill, you allow them to learn and have a little kind of rock in a safe environment with a padding or with a crash mat. And then you test it a little bit more and say, right, okay, do it again. And I'm not holding your hand this time.
Mm-hmm.
So but being able to use that in a Muay Thai environment, then you get to feel the impact of like a push kick or a knee on the pads.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what I do in my beginners class. In my beginners class at the moment, there's probably 10 to 15 kids that are coming through the ranks. And we do these like little impact drills. And then we have like a 10-minute like circuit going around the gym, where they'll do maybe 15, 20 seconds of pad work with me. 15, 20 seconds of pad work. So they get a good quality pad holder, and then you can make adjustments on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, one of the probably one of the best pointers of guidance that I had with teaching kids was, if you expect to have their concentration in their age in minutes per hour. So for a 4-year-old kid, you've got their concentration for 4 minutes every hour.
Mm.
Most of the time, the 4-year-olds, they're running around and they're having fun in the gym. They're going a little bit crazy, and this is what makes me stop being so kind of authoritarian, being like grumpy dad or grumpy coach or whatever, and say, right, okay, kids being kids. They have to learn, and they're free spirited. I don't want to break that free spirit, but what I do want to do is say, right, okay, if I've got this expectation, this 4 minutes is going to be broken up into little blips. And when you ask the kid to perform and do their drill and step their game up and concentrate for just these little blips of experience, like when they're doing the pads, normally the kids step up. They know that that's their time to concentrate, and then they have the freedom to go, that was an intense 20 seconds. You ask a kid to concentrate for 20 seconds, he can concentrate for 20 seconds. If you ask a kid to concentrate for 3 minutes, he ain't going to concentrate for 3 minutes. So to break it down into like even a 3-minute round is a big ask. But being able to manage that concentration and manage their attention levels alongside building the technique, alongside they've got the little bit of impact, they've got the reaction speed and stuff like that. Then they get to step the game up and then calm back down. Step the game up, step back down. And then this is how we build these like 4 or 5 minutes of experience each and every lesson, each and every week, each and every month, each and every year. And it's only through years and years that we build up this experience, and this is how they get better.
Exactly. See, one of the things that I really find joy in is, and I always use the example, I think the kid at the time was 5 years old coming in my gym, and he's just quiet, shy, like, timid little thing. And we trained for a year, and after that year, he was confident, saying, when he come in now, all of a sudden he would say hello to everybody. He would even do the Waikru Ramwai, the ceremonial dance that's Muay Thai is so famous for, in front of a crowd, right? In front of, I think there were 60 people, which, that was absolutely amazing. So that confidence change that a good coach will create within such a young kid. That's the reason why I say, look, any kid should do martial arts. I mean, if it's Muay Thai, then great. I'm a Muay Thai passionate. But if it's something else, if it's karate, which my kids are right now doing karate or judo or whatever, right? You see that confidence builds. What's your experience there, and what kind of great example could you share, for example, that you've seen some changes in kids that you've been teaching?
Well, quite a few different stories. We've had. I mean, I don't like the kind of stereotypical weight loss thing and stuff like that. But I mean, this is it's a common thing now. Kids are they're able to get hold of fast food and having easy options, having the takeaways. Just saying, look, you need to fuel yourself a little bit differently. You need to be smart about how you're eating. And if you, is your body like a Formula One car, or is it like the Ford Focus outside? You a race car, or you a chug away little family car? You a diesel engine? And what's your fuel? What's your motivation? Giving them better choices over their nutrition, and we've seen plenty of kids improve their diet, and not only has that improved, like being in better shape and being more active, but their concentration levels and their energy levels through class, it kind of smooths their energy out to concentrate better for longer. We've had kids come in and they've been maybe been bullied and stuff like that. And what takes me back to one of the kids that started coming down, maybe 5-6 months of training. Then we hire the gym out as a party venue as well. They do like martial arts birthday parties and stuff. So playing martial art games and doing like Kung Fu Panda and stuff like that. And got a big bouncy castle in the gym, and just having the kind of safety matting means that they've got some like soft play and but kicking the bags and that kind of thing. Well, the party started going on, and they're having like the kids were jumping on and off the bouncy castle, and I was keeping an eye on all the kids, and like some of them went like round the back of the bouncy castle near the bags, and I was like, oh, let's have a look, see what's going on around there. As I looked round, like one of the kids that doesn't come to the gym was pushing the birthday boy, and it was starting to get a little bit physical, and I was like, oh, what's going on there? And I went over as I was starting to walk over the birthday boy, because he was in his comfort zone. Because this had been going on a little bit longer, but he was in his comfort zone now, and he was in his gym. So the birthday boy like got hold of him, clinched him, kneed him in the stomach, and stood up to the bully. And I was like, whoa, what's going on there? It's like it winded him, and I was like, what's going on? Is everything okay? Like, that's the guy that's bullying me. That's why I've been coming to classes. Yes, he's a friend, but and as I was trying to like draw the information out of him, it turns out that this is the kid that had been bullying him for about a year. He was a friend, but he was overstepping boundaries, and he was getting like intimidating. He was trying to the bigger kid was trying to alpha him. And this kid was just standing up to him. Unfortunately, that was the end of the story. The kid that was training with us, it stood up to his bully, and he stopped coming to the gym, unfortunately. But the fact is that was it. That was his challenge. That was saying, look, there's this kid that's bullying me, and the situation was kind of created, well, maybe subconsciously or something. I'm not sure, but the thing is that the kid faced his demons. He stepped up, he built his confidence, and he stood up to this bigger kid that had been pushing boundaries. That's the beauty of martial arts. So sometimes having that, what's the word? Sometimes having a crux, sometimes having someone that's going to stand beside you, someone that's going to support you in times when you need someone to stand by you. I'm reminded of one of my friends. One of my friends, he committed suicide about 2 years ago. But one of the he always put these kind of motivational stories out there and these motivational pictures out. And he said, be the person that you needed when you was in your darkest place. And these kids are in a dark place when they've been bullied. And sometimes they just need someone standing by the side of them, and then they'll actualize their potential. Now it's an unfortunate story but for me, that's his memory living on. That's my friend's memory that's living on, and that's part of his legacy.
Yeah, that's a powerful motivational line for all of us to remember, right? And that's something that I always try to work on, as well as myself, to keep improving yourself towards achieving that point. Now, one of the things that most are afraid of when they go to Muay Thai is that we create these aggressive kind of persons. And you just mentioned, like, no, he just learned to stick up for themselves. He stuck up, he did it, and that's it. Now, I don't condone the fact that, of course, he hit him, and I'm assuming you didn't either, but hey, sometimes that's the only way that we can stop a bully. Now, this is a curious thing, and I'm wondering what your thoughts on that. As soon as you are starting to learn how to kick and punch, you actually don't start to do it anymore. All right, because you get
Yeah.
that confidence level, one. Two, you learn what it does. Like you just mentioned, you first teach the kids with the pads, so they learn what it means to receive a kick or to give a punch, right? So you
Yeah.
actually see like, hey, this hurts. You shouldn't do
Yeah.
that, or now you know that you can. So that's actually not necessary. And what I've noticed is that bullies also notice that change in confidence, that change like, hey, this person knows something, and then all of a sudden they just don't start bullying anymore because you got that certain level of confidence. Because in the end, it's a, I don't know, it's a weakness of the bully that they just looking to find the weaknesses in others and try to
Yeah.
take advantage of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is true, and like I say, sometimes because you hold yourself differently, because you're standing maybe a little bit more confidently, or you're able to engage a little bit of eye contact and just go, hey, what's your problem? Just that little stop, just that little kind of system check, as opposed to kind of almost like disengaging, looking down, carrying away. That's just going to mean it's going to continue,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll keep on happening as long as you let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a time and a place to stand up, and yeah, okay. There's at a certain point you have to take that stand, and it may mean some physical contact. Sometimes it may mean like being a little bit aggressive just to kind of meet their aggression back. But the fact is that if that's what they're bringing to the pie, if that's what they're bringing to you, then you got to stand up for yourself. Otherwise, people will just keep doing that, and the more that this is kind of imprinted and this behavior is accepted, it becomes a persistent story. So the bully will actually change, and you'll keep repeating that story even through into adulthood. People that still get bullied as adults, it just becomes a little bit more subversive, a little bit more mental, a little bit more intimidation, and it can be as subtle as words, and the words and the verbal bullying is probably more longer lasting, because the thing is that, yeah, okay, if you get a black eye, if you get punched, then that's the end of it. But the thing is, if people are speaking, then those words will keep going round and round and round and round and round, and it never actually stops. So verbal bullying is probably worse than actual physical bullying to a certain extent.
Yeah, absolutely. But there again, it's like if you, because I train martial arts myself, and I always say, look, if everybody would would train martial arts or would train Muay Thai, we'd actually have peace,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
If they would train under a good, I always keep reminding people that as well, you have to have a good instructor. Because
yeah,
people keep reminding like, yeah, but when we train this, then, we get aggressive people. No, you only get aggressive people if they're instructed the wrong way. That's why I
yeah,
like the sentence that I heard yesterday. I had the pleasure to go on the show myself, sitting in the other seat. And somebody in the virtual audience was saying, there's no such thing as a bad student, right? There's just bad teachers, meaning that that's the way we create an aggressive person, or right. And I think we can apply the same as in regards to fathers, right? There's no
yeah,
bad kids. There's just bad fathers that are not teaching their kids, or what you just mentioned, like we're not right there enough. And I was just wondering, what's your idea on that? What do you do to make sure that your kids and your students are living in the correct way according to what you envisioned for them?
Okay, so firstly, I created a grading structure. Now I know people have this thing that there's no black belts in Muay Thai or anything like that, and it becomes a bit of a quirk. But the fact of the matter is that having some form of goal setting or it's not necessarily like a tick box technique or anything. It's saying there's technical skills, there's physical skills, there's technical skills, there's physical fitness, and then there's also attitude. Now, attitude is the number one thing, and the very first thing that we learn is empathy. So having respect for the techniques, and being able to have a look at your partner, and even if it is through the pads, sometimes you can hurt people through the pads. These techniques that we've got are brutal. And yeah, okay, I've had lumps on my own arms from like big heavyweights kicking the pads and bruising on my forearms and stuff. I was like, wow, you can kick, man. It's a good job I'm conditioned and I'm used to taking that impact. So learning to recognize these emotional changes, learning to recognize people's emotional demeanor. So one of the things that I do in classes is I turn around and say, if your partner's flinching, then you're doing it wrong. It's not your partner's fault for flinching. It's your responsibility to do the technique a little bit slower, so that then they're programming, so that the person being programmed can react correctly. Just this week, I'm into week 4 of a 6-week course of starting people out, a group of kids out at the local school. We've done a little bit on punching, a little bit on kicking, a little bit of clinch work and stuff. Says, right, okay, now that you've learned how to like coordinate your body and put your body through these different movement patterns, now we have to learn defense. Now this is when they start getting giddy and start getting excited. Oh yeah, I get to punch my mate and see if they can stop me and stuff. And it's like, no. Now you know how to move. Now you have to control yourself so that you're not hurting your partner. So even if it's something as simple as a jab, can you jab? Is your partner flinching and closing their eyes? Okay, then if they're flinching, if they're pulling away, then you're jabbing too fast. So then I say, look, I'm looking for functioning partnerships as opposed to people that can jab fast, people that can punch fast. And then when I see a partnership function well, that's how both people can get better together. Then it's also about creating that correct mental state. We'll come back to the mental state again. So when you're in fight or flight, you're functioning at a primal level. This is when you're in fight or flight, you're at a level where you're functioning from a base level. If you're in fight or flight, you're not in learning mode. Fight or flight is very, very anxious, very energized state, and you're going to flinch and you're going to move fast. But learning state is a lot calmer. And when you're activating the correct learning state, you learn to nurture the technique. You learn to deliver the technique a little bit slower. Then they can be coordinated. They can parry the punch. They can lift the block up to block the kick without fear of impact. And when there's no fear of impact, then they learn to trust the technique, because this is a primal response. You're trying to program this primal response. And so only when you've been through the nurturing process to then say, right, okay, now I need to take a different approach. Okay, so now when they're delivering the kick a little bit faster, do you still react in the same way? And this is the nurture and forge mentality that we take towards training. So once you've coordinated yourself, once you've learned to move correctly, right, okay, you're lifting your block up, you feel comfortable doing that? Yes, I feel comfortable doing that. Right, okay, let's put the pads on, let's put the gloves on, let's put the shin guards on. Now you're controlling the kick, now you're trying to land the kick. Okay, now that there's a little attitude change and it's become a little bit more competitive, and you're trying to land the kick as opposed to just feed a technique, then you start seeing the benefit in nurturing this flinch reaction correctly. So as opposed to flinching and pulling away, now you flinch and you parry. Now you flinch and you lift your shin block. Now you block the kick, then you're in a better position to fire straight back. And that's and being able to learn these effective strategies is what coaching is about for me as a coach, to make sure that people are staying in the right mindset, and also that people that take responsibility for the techniques that they're throwing towards their partners, and they also have the emotional maturity to recognize, okay, I landed that kick, it was a tough one, sorry mate, yeah, that's cool, touch gloves, I apologize, fair enough, let's move on. And there's a time and a place to have this nice sparring, and then we've got my fighters that will go a little bit harder and say, hey, it is what it is. So being able to find that balance is important as you progress from someone that's just starting out to someone that's training for a hobby to someone that wants to compete. And there's responsibilities and phases that people are going to go through all of this.
Exactly. So the question that pops in my head, because you can tell from the way you explain it and everything, it's so important for our kids to practice sports, to do martial arts, to do different things. For me, it's important that if they want to play soccer, great, but they also should do a martial arts because of the coordination, right? Because the kids learn to coordinate their body differently than when they do a different sport. So the more sports they do, the better they develop their coordination within their body. Great. Now, yeah. I can understand there's a lot of fathers listening to you and they're like, wow, man, this Rich guy is a coach. He must be amazing. How does a father determine if a coach is a good coach for his child?
Or is what, sorry?
How could a father determine, like, okay, because there's so many, there's so many schools, there's so many that will have titles everywhere saying I'm an instructor of this, I'm an instructor of that. But how does one father determine, like, okay, yeah, this is a good coach? When they come into your gym, how can a father determine, or what kind of questions should he ask, or what should he look for to say, yeah, Rich is a great coach for my kid, and my kid will grow here and will learn the things that I want him to learn, right?
Okay, so first of all, good fighters don't necessarily make good coaches, because if you're a good fighter, then it means that you've got a certain brutality, you've got a certain disregard for someone else's safety. Okay, you're trying to impose your technique, impose your will, and your main goal is to win. Okay, it's not to put on a demonstration. So a good coach, they know the mechanics. However, a coach should also have the awareness of softer skills. So it might not necessarily be the thing that I want my kid to win, so they're gonna get in there and and do loads of sparring and learn how to hit hard. Okay, it's look across the class and what's the demographic spread within the class. Does everyone have this same like alpha attitude, where they're wanting to beat each other up, or is there shy kids in the class? Is there overweight kids in the class? Is there girls in the class? What's the demographic spread? And then you can see how the coach communicates. Is it just like, yeah, okay, throw the technique, and if the technique lands, then well done, you win? Or is it a case of, throw the technique, have you got the control? Oh, okay, that technique landed a bit heavy. You okay? Showing some form of safety, some regard. The thing is, if you've got your kids going in there, going into a martial art class, and there's no regard for their safety, then it becomes a dog-eat-dog world. Like I said, that my first attitude and part of my first kind of grading attitude assessment is, do they have empathy? So do they look after their training partners? If you haven't got training partners, then who are you going to train with? Okay, you just end up doing bag work. So you need to look after your training partners, and although it's an individual sport, there's still a teamwork there. And you need that teamwork, you need that cohesiveness, and something to work towards. So yeah, as a coach, you need to be communicating well, and then also making sure that, does the coach have the right standpoint over, well, example yesterday, one of my one of the girls in class, she was 5 years old. It's a 6th birthday next week. She came into class. She one of the boys push kicked her. She got winded. She started crying, and I was like, "You okay?" And I gave a glance across to the dad, and he was like, "Yeah, keep pushing her, keep pushing her." I was like, "Do you want to speak to your dad, or do you want to crack on? Do you want to continue in the class, or do you want to speak to your dad?" Now this is it's a choice. And she was like, and all of a sudden she kind of wiped her eyes, bit down, and was like, "Okay, I want to push kick him back." I was like, "There's a 5-year-old attitude. Okay, you're nearly ready to be 6. Okay," and from this, she was like, "Right, okay, I'll get back in there, get back on the horse." And this is what we were just talking about, having that get back into the routine as quickly as possible, reduce the emotional baggage. Yeah, okay, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Okay, sometimes you get winded, sometimes it hurts, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, but can you get back on the horse as quickly as possible? That's how I would do it. But I mean, I know there's coaches out there that some do this, others don't. Some people have the kind of whiteboard. These are the drills that you do for each round, and they don't take any regard for their like emotional development. Those kind of places will breed yeah, certainly tough fighters, but tough will only take you so far. And so the depth of knowledge in the technique, but conversely, the depth of knowledge in your mental state, the depth of knowledge in your attitude and your empathy.
Mm.
And then when you bring this kind of bigger picture together. That's what makes a good coach, is that you're trying to create a rounded individual.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I think one of the first things that you mentioned is like, look at the demographic.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. And I was like, yep, that makes absolute sense. How many girls are there in the class, for example, right? Because we all think like, oh, contact sports, that's for men. But no, absolutely not. It's for everybody. And that's what makes a great coach. If the coach is able to teach a complete diversified group, right? You can
Yeah.
say like, okay, this man knows what he's doing. I can safely leave my kid here 2-3 times a week and know that my kid's going to grow and become a confident child and growing up, right? I love it, Rich. Thanks, man. I think that's great insight. So you keep mentioning, and I like when people just come back and pick things that you see all of a sudden the red line. You keep mentioning like, you got to get back on the horse as soon as possible, right? And sometimes it's also, we're just afraid to keep going in that metaphor, is to even step on the horse, right? To even get on it and try something new, or just, to make sure that we move forward. What's your system, or how do you make sure that for yourself you overcome that fear and do something that you know that's going to help you grow, or that's going to help you move forward?
To be honest, I think because of my upbringing and my attitude, I find it very hard to drag out that anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it from a third party perspective, and yeah, we have people coming into the gym and stuff like that. And the thing is that as soon as you walk into my gym, there's like a cage wall just in front of you, just so that you can't walk straight onto the mat. So we have like an MMA like cage wall as soon as you walk in. And we had a guy from the local radio come in, and as soon as he opened the door, it was like, wow, like he was kind of taken back by the intensity of it. So sometimes it looks maybe graphic and aggressive and stuff like that, and it looks a bit scary and stuff. But the cage is just there as a safety thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a safety mechanism. If it was just ropes, then people can fall through the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding that, although these like tabloid terms of cage fighting and stuff like that try and make it sound more dramatic, and it can be a bit of a big sell and stuff. The story that we're putting out there is it's done for safety, and then also on the backstory is that we have emotionally mature people doing these very, very, very aggressive, very, very, very graphic, very physical things. There comes a responsibility with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, coming back to it, like the saying Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to educate people with. So for me, when I'm trying to find something that's I'm maybe anxious over, is I perform the same mental tasks as I coach people with, as I go through breathing exercises. I'll maybe get nervous, but I can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, right, well, that's okay for you because you're a Muay Thai world champion. You're not scared of anything. You're damn right, I'm scared of stuff. But the thing is that I just deal with it in a different way. I go, I can breathe, I can relax. Like I said, I'll take it for what it is, and I'll trust my instinct.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the mind coaching things come in. This is where the meditation comes in. This is where, like, when I was living out in Thailand and competing at some of the big stadiums out in Bangkok, I'm right, it's scary. There's some killers out there. But the fact is that I trusted the people that I was working with. I trusted my gym. I trusted my coaches, and I believed in myself.
Mm-hmm.
And having that inner self-belief and that emotional calmness, alongside the physical skills and the guidance and the coaching and everything else, meant that I was ready and I was prepared.
Exactly.
So this is what I'm trying to now pass over is, like I said, with good coaching, great things can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And that comes back again to what you mentioned in the beginning, is like have great routines and systems to set you up for such situations where fear will arise, because it will, right?
Yeah.
I say become a fearless father, but fearless doesn't mean that you don't have fear. It just means that you deal with fear in a different way than everybody else does.
Yeah.
Because you prepare yourself, you think about it, you train every single day. Well, and as a father, of course, you train it a different way. You read books, you meditate as well. I do breathing exercises also, because I noticed that it helps me being calm in situations where my kids pop off, right? And you know how little kids, they go from 0 to 10 in like 1 second. And of course they do it in the most unlikely and most uncomfortable moments, when there's lots and lots of people, or when you have a live interview with somebody, right? All those routines and systems that really help. Rich, I really appreciate that. That was great insight. Now we're getting close to the end. I'm just quickly trying to see if I have one more question that I would really like to ask you.
Sorry, just one little gem that I want to kind of throw in there, because you brought that up. We always have the kids that are throwing a fit in the middle of the supermarket and stuff like that, and like scream tantrums and stuff. If you match that emotional intent, then it's two crazy people talking to each other. They speak a different language. Okay? It takes the maturity of an adult to go, okay, the kid that's throwing a fit on the floor, screaming and shouting, isn't me. I can take responsibility for that, but I don't want to match it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no rationalizing with a kid when he's throwing a temper tantrum. But what we can do is say, I'll deal with it the best I can.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with it the best that you can, then so what if other people are watching?
Mm-hmm.
You can be sure as hell that if there's another parent watching, they will empathize with you.
True that. Yeah, absolutely.
The people that haven't got kids go, why can't they control their kids?
Yeah.
Try controlling a temper tantrum 4-year-old. and then say, well, okay, if this is what's happening, this is what happens. But through my job, I bumped into a consultant, and this consultant said that she was given a compliment that she was always really good at telling people off, almost like a school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, that's a skill. What's the secret? She said the secret isn't to match them on their emotional intent. So the secret is to get them to be reflective over their own behavior.
Mm.
So, yeah, okay, maybe a 3 or 4-year-old can't subjectively look back on their behavior, but a 5 or 6-year-old can.
Mm.
And having that belief in your 5-6-year-old will make them step their game up. Like I was saying about doing the pad work, they can step their game up for these little blips of concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And as a parent, we're looking for these little blips of concentration just to kind of steer them just a little bit here and there. And it's these little bits of steering that I feel is what parent is about. Parenting as well as coaching.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate you sharing that last gem during this live interview. I really enjoyed it, Rich. I'd like to thank you for taking the time for being on. And I wanted to ask, man, for fathers that are watching this that have questions, or maybe there are some fathers close to you that are like, man, this Rich guy is amazing. I want my kids to train with him, or I want to train with you. How can they get in contact with you? How can they follow you?
Yeah, so I have a coaching page called Coach Cadden. I put loads of stuff on there from my work that I do in schools. I have the gym page, which is chokdee Academy. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, both chokdee Academy. And then my Facebook profile is almost full right now. I keep going through like the friends call on Facebook. So trying to keep it as relevant as possible. So yeah, you can find out loads of information about us up on there. I also have a podcast on Anchor. There's an app called Anchor. If you just search for chokdee Academy on there, there's a lot of like 20-minute, 30-minute podcasts where I just go into like a monologue, just talking about random things around martial arts, around sparring attitudes, around understanding a little bit about the sport, some of my fight stories and things like that. Yeah, just give us a follow, and yeah, I'm more than happy to go out and do seminars all over the world. So yeah, I've done seminars all over the UK. Done some work out in Russia and stuff like that. So it's got some good connections, and yeah, the story's spreading.
Nice, that's great to hear. Great, man. I appreciate that. So now everybody knows how to get in contact with you as well. Again, Rich, thanks for being on. It was absolutely enlightening to hear your view on Muay Thai and fatherhood as well. Everybody else for watching, thanks. I appreciate you. We will be back again very soon, and I hope you join us again for more insights in regards to parenting, etc. All right, so everybody take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.
Are you still meeting up with your friends now that you're a father? Kids making you stress out, you got no time for yourself to work out, read, or relax. Can you still remember the time you were hanging out with your friends, feeling energetic, happy, and confident? Spending time together and talking about your life and your crazy dreams. You're feeling alone now, don't you? No one to share your challenges with, and you're just running around from one storm into the next. Well, it's time to change this now. Join me and the Brotherhood of Fearless Fathers to speak on a weekly basis with like-minded dads to crush your challenges, face your fears with determination, be held accountable, and regain control of your life. If you want to become the hero your family needs you to be, then go to becomeafearlessfather.com/brotherhood. Looking forward to seeing you on one of our next calls.